possible sin.
It's hinder. It is a hinder. Wanting to understand. At the moment wanting to understand, hinder instantly. It works its way to hinder the understanding because of the wanting to understand it. It's very subtle and quite tricky for lopa to play always. Just wanting to understand is not the understanding. So at that moment, many people are lured by such thinking, wanting to see, and trying so hard. Even at that moment, it's accompanied by lopa, the hindrance.
How understand Ajahn without trying?
How I can. Always how. Can you do that? If you can, please tell me how. Impossible at all. No way to think of how. Otherwise, Buddha wouldn't say that after his enlightenment, he recognized it, lopa, as the builder of samsara, instructor of samsara. Just leave the thinking about how is the self, trying so hard. Even you name it, Pakatu Panisya Pachaya, it's just naming it. Yeah, naming it. It's that now Pakatu Panisya Pachaya, Aramana Panisya Pachaya. See, if you call it at that moment, it's not the understanding at all. It's just remembering the word and the understanding of the explanation of that meaning, but not the reality which appears as that which is attached by Aramanu Panisya Pachaya as condition. At that moment of thinking about how, that is Aramanu Panisya Pachaya as well. Accumulated the idea of how, so that is the Aramanu Panisya Pachaya. Very deeply. So it's quite deep to really be able to understand reality as not self, because there must be the understanding of a reality right now at a time by conditions. This is the most important thing. The most difficult is by conditions. No how at all.
Understanding does develop. So you don't have to understand.
How mean you try to find out by your own thinking? No understanding right now. So what you think is conditioned by attachment, just wanting to. But understanding is not trying to understand or trying to have result. Because it has to be understanding that there is no understanding of whatever appears. So what is needed is the words which can condition the development of understanding. For example, we talk about seeing because there is seeing. But at the moment of talking about seeing, there is no understanding of seeing. See, there is seeing, and when we talk about seeing, it's not the moment of understanding seeing. But by understanding what seeing is, on and on and on, it can condition a little understanding, little by little, from moment to moment. Because at that moment, when we talk about seeing, there is no thinking about other things. But as long as there is the talking about seeing, and there is the idea of how, it's not the understanding of seeing. How deep it is to know each moment as it is. Seeing is not the moment of talking about it, right? Seeing is not the moment of talking about seeing. Mm-hmm. And if there is the idea of trying, it hinders instantly because the self is there. Just want to try to do, not to get and not to become detached with understanding.
it can grow, and I don't really know.
You just want, it's not you, but attachment, desire, just want to go wrongly, not to understand reality at that very moment. Just want to know, not the understanding itself, which develops from moment of understanding. So it's different way. It's not the way to understand, it's the way to get. But you get avijja, ignorance, and attachment more and more. That is panya, only panya can understand attachment as attachment. Only panya can be wise to attachment. Otherwise, attachment is wiser than that which does not understand. At that moment, there is no understanding.
And attachment is not ours.
No.
But I don't believe. Because I would like it to be not mine, but it seems like it's mine. Attachment, I'm attached.
So you can see that even it's not yours, but you take it for yours. What is right?
The problem is we think the attachment is ours and we think the understanding is ours. So we want to have less attachment.
That's why Buddha taught about the citta, cetasika, and rupa in details, and the bhajja in details, in order to have the intellectual understanding, to be conditioned for understanding what one has learned at moment when it is there. Like seeing, see? There is seeing, and he talked a lot about seeing, to condition the understanding of seeing, not to think of other things and want to not understand it. But there is not enough conditions for understanding of seeing to arise. And that's the way, the point that the loka can come in immediately all the time. It's compared to the space in between the kalapa, each kalapa. Loka is there.
So it pervades everything.
Right. That's why it's so very difficult to understand it, that as just not self. No matter loka or attachments or understanding. Right now, reality just arises by conditions and it passes away unknowingly. What is left is only the nimitta, the sign of the succession of the arising and falling away of realities. But it can be the beginning to developing understanding, because nothing is permanent at all. A moment ago, it's gone completely. Otherwise, nothing is changed. But since it arises and falls away, it changes all the time. From seeing to hearing, see? Changing unknowingly, by conditions. Seeing and hearing, see? And thinking about what is heard as the wave sound, something like that. The only one thing to develop is just understanding, only that. Leave everything to conditions. Otherwise, the self try to be conditioned, but it's wrong because it's unwholesome. Reality, attachment, and the idea of self is not right.
They say that Dhamma everywhere.
Yeah, because what you think about Dhamma, what is it? Because we are trapped by the word in Pali, and we try to search and look for it. But if we understand what Dhamma is, it's so close you cannot get away from it. Because Dhamma means that which is real, and it appears all the time, unknowingly, as just a reality, because it appears as something like seeing, visible object. That which is seen is different from that which is heard. And now, whatever is seen has gone. At moment of hearing, there is no more visible object and seeing. So it goes away very rapidly all the time. It's like the outer world or the inner world. The inner world arises and falls away in split seconds. What is left is only sign of the arising and falling away as different objects and different things. But without the inner world, without the realities, the absolute realities, there can never be the outer world at all. See, we take it for shrimp or prawn, but actually it's only that which is seen with memory of the shape and form. So we have such idea. And when we taste it, there is the idea of taste, no shape, no form of the eye and the skin. Yeah. That's why if there can be the understanding of a reality at a time, perfectly, no idea of self at all. Sound cannot be anyone, anything. Visible object can be seen and then falls away. But there is no understanding and condition clinging. When there is no understanding, it clings to both seeing and visible object instantly by conditions. So natural, that is the natural conditions. This is not being called manasikara, but it attends now with citta, which experiences. So we don't have to think about the name, just understand the reality that's not there. Otherwise, if only it's calling it, naming it, but where is it, it's gone, without knowing it as manasikara. Right? Because there is manasikara at any moment of citta. But when we name it, we call it, we don't know its characteristic.
Can I Ajahn do anything to feel better?
For yourself again. Just for yourself, not for understanding. Yeah. But I think that no matter what you get, it's not as best as understanding the true nature of reality. Because you take it for me or mine, but actually it's not you, it's not yours. But what you just want is for yourself. So actually it's not the understanding that there is no you and there's no self. What do you want?
A lot of understanding and pleasant moments with that.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of understanding has to be the understanding of a characteristic at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it becomes big number. But if there's no understanding of none and just hope to have lots of understanding or understanding of lot of reality, it's impossible. So just collect or develop the understanding of one characteristic at a time. Only one at a time. You hope for a lot, but actually just one at a time. Otherwise, there is no understanding. So now, what you want to understand? For now, there are many realities. Which one is that which you want to understand? Which one?
When we say we want more understanding, we have an idea of being someone, just a person with a lot of understanding, a wise person. In terms of understanding,
Yes, but understanding what? This is more important.
The present moment. I would like to understand the present moment.
Okay. Can you condition pleasant moment to arise at will?
No. I can do.
So wait and wait to the end of your life and end of next life, another life, because it's impossible to have anything at will. But by understanding it, it can condition so very pleasant moment of not having ignorance anymore.
Present. Yeah, I said present, but
Not present.
no, present. But pleasant also sounds good.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask about the pleasant and unpleasant. When there is unpleasant moment,
Yeah.
and it seems really we cannot change. But
And it does arise and pass away in split seconds. So is it useful to hope for and wanting it more and more, because it does not stay at all. You cannot really have it because it just arises to show up and then goes away. And it can be object of attachment instantly. That's all. So the more you want it, the more there is attachment of such thing which arises and passes away in split second. Nothing is left. So one just develop the understanding of the truth of realities, that's all. No expectations. It's the way to have less clinging. And when there's less clinging, there is pleasant moment with understanding. Much better than pleasant feeling with attachment. To be free from attachment. As long as one still be enslaved by attachment, never have the experience of being freed from attachment.
So it doesn't appeal to us, our loba, because we're full of loba. It doesn't appeal to us so much, detachment. Because we are full of attachment.
That's why he needs teaching. That's why he needs to hear the teaching.
That's right, yeah.
To know the truth.
Yes. But your remark about face is a good one. You should bring it up.
And yeah, I do it, Nina.
Yeah.
But at first I've got the question, because what bothers me now is, see, Ajahn, there is many people sitting here. And we talk about visible object and everything, and my mind doesn't apply to that. There are people.
And still your mind still apply no understanding of anatta-ness, see? So it's against the teachings. Because the teaching says that everything, all dhammas are dhammas, not self.
But they appear as a self, as so many people.
No, not at all. Not at all. It appears as something, and you take it for I. For example, seeing now sees. Does it belong to anyone? Just seeing.
It seems as though it belongs.
Yeah. Where is it that belongs to you?
It's always there.
Where? When it says,
Yeah.
is that you? Does it belong to you? Where is it which belongs to you? When it belongs to you, you get it. But you cannot get it.
I not get it, but I know that it doesn't belong to you. What I see doesn't belong to you.
When you take seeing for my seeing, it's not seeing anymore. Because it's gone.
It's gone already.
Yeah.